Aloha! Thank you so much for joining us here in our wonderful little channel, Breathe Aloha. And we are actually coming to you from our beautiful Mama's Garden, Ku's Garden in Hakipu'u. And today's video is actually the LP version, the long playing version of our intro video, because we wanted to share more about us,
who we are,
who we are,
where we're from,
a
little background,
and also what is Breathe Aloha, right?
Why Breathe Aloha?
Yeah,
and why now?
And more, and in more detail. So, you know, I say grab a cup of tea, some water, maybe, you know, we just want you to just chill out with us. We're just gonna talk story here with each other, with you, just welcoming you into Mama's garden, into her courtyard of love. And before we really get started, I wanted Lahela here to introduce what part of the yard called to us. We're always paying attention, you know, when we look for places to share, talk story, we're always looking. Lahela said,
Ku's Garden for sure, because of this beauty right here. And here in Hawaii, we call this the kahili ginger. It resembles the kahilis of the ali'i, of the monarch. So
it's the perfect name for this ginger. Oh my God, the fragrance. Oh, the fragrance.
The most amazing fragrance. And my mom was a flower farmer, and so we grew up around a lot of different kinds of tropical flowers. My mom grew gingers and heliconias and all different kinds of foliages, and I fell in love with the kahili ginger, all the gingers actually, but the ones with the most fragrance. And I was,
I think
another story.
No, actually, I think that's a great segue, because that's a part of who you are. Like,
True.
So now let's dive into who is Lahela.
So aloha. I am Arna Lahela Johnson, and I like to go by my Hawaiian name, Lahela. I was named after my tutu, my grandmother. She was half Hawaiian. No, she was mostly Hawaiian, and a little bit of Caucasian. But anyway, her name was Rachel, and so at that time, the Hawaiianized version of Rachel was Lahela. And fast forward, in my 30s or 40s, I started to wonder what the Hawaiian meaning or translation of Lahela was. And so I kind of looked into it, and what I kind of pieced together is La, sun, light, day, and Hela being arms spread out wide, so widespread light or sunlight. And so
she's so perfect for her. Seriously.
So I really love my name. I didn't appreciate it as much when I was younger, but now I absolutely love it. And to have my tutu, my grandmother, with me wherever I go, it's very, very special to me. And so, yeah, it's there's that time in your life when you just start to embrace certain things of your past, your childhood,
that is so
your
true.
upbringing, and
it's like this light switch goes on, doesn't it?
Yeah, just like this connection that I forever carry with me and love having with me. So
beautiful.
So, and then you.
Well, I think that you should also share where, like physically on the island of Oahu, because I think that contributes to who you are.
Yeah. Thank you. So, I was brought up here in this sacred valley called Hakipu'u on the windward side of Oahu. And the windward side, which is the wet side, which is why everything is so lush and green and tropical on this side. This is the east facing side of the island. And I grew up on family property on the water, actually, on the shoreline. And where we are now is just 5 minutes away from that shoreline property. We are up in the mountains here on additional family property. And it's a very sacred place. And I know that as a child, I felt a strong connection because we play, you know how as a kid you're running around outdoors with your, for me, I had my older brother and my
barefoot.
cousins and and the
Barefoot.
kids next door running around barefoot all over the place, you know, swimming in the ocean, hiking up in the mountains, you know, just all over the place, barefoot. And so I always felt that we were protected no matter where we went, what we did. And the magnificent thing about where we grew up is right next to our shorefront property is this enormous fish pond that was built around 800 AD by the Menehune. Menehune were a little people, and so very ancient fish ponds, and it was still used as a fish pond. And so I always felt very safe, and I felt like there was this, like we were protected by the ancient ones, the unseen realm, and that we were always swimming and boating, and we never ever had any accidents or no mishaps, and I always felt protected. So
I mean, that's really cool because it already shows me, or what I'm hearing is that you were already in tune to spirit at a very, very young age.
Very early age.
Yeah, that's really, really beautiful.
And to nature, to plants. I have always loved plants ever since I was a little girl, and I remember I used to collect plants, and I used to plant certain plants. I just had this connection, and it must be a past life, memory of working with plants, and perhaps la'au lapa'au, which is plant medicine. And so, and of course, you know, we would have, my mom started her flower farm, growing tropical flowers and foliages, and so we were her laborers back in the day. But always being outdoors in plants, and I felt like I could communicate with the plants. I always had a kinship with the plants, and that is so strong in me still to this day. So having that direct connection, receiving messages from nature, and being open to seeing them and hearing them and receiving them. Such a beautiful upbringing. I'm half Hawaiian, half Caucasian, and the Caucasian part is all mix them up. So it's my dad was Hawaiian, Swedish, Scottish, and Irish, and so I have Scottish, Irish, Dutch, French, English.
That's both from mom and dad. Wow.
Yeah, and then Hawaiian. Yeah. We were deeply immersed in the Hawaiian culture with my tutu, my grandmother who lived next door. She could read anything and remember everything. And so you could ask her anything about history, and she could, give you dates and names and who was involved and what happened. And
very scholarly.
Yeah, she was really scholarly. Yeah, and so was my dad.
Yeah.
So, and of course, music was a big part of the family, and we would have these awesome Sunday brunches where mom would say, go next door and go bring Tutu over so we can have breakfast together on the lanai, and mom would make this huge spread, and after brunch we would the instruments, the ukulele and the guitar would come out, and inevitably Tutu would give us some kind of Hawaiian history or Hawaiian language or Hawaiian song lesson. And it was so incredible. Just, there's nothing like that, having that closeness with your grandparents.
And as a family.
From them. Yeah, we're so family oriented here in Hawaii.
Yeah, it's very true.
In the Hawaiian culture, and then Geraldine's going to talk about her culture as well. So, and because of that close relationship with my grandparents, I wanted to document them, and I actually was able to. My father let me borrow his camera back in the day, so I used to take pictures of, everyone, and my animals, my plants, you name it. And later on, I got into a little bit of video, and I would do some. I love documenting my grandparents doing the things that they enjoyed doing. You know, my Hawaiian grandparents on both sides, both mom and dad side, doing all of the Hawaiian cultural things. You know, grandma would be out picking limu, seaweed, you know, out in front of her home, and catching crabs. My uncle would be, you know, catching he'e, which is octopus, and just all the fishing that they did, and that we did, and just learning from them all of these beautiful cultural practices. And so I wanted to document them. I wanted to document life. I wanted to document people doing real things. And that's how I got into photography. So fast forward, I graduated from Brooks Institute of Photography in Santa Barbara, California, and then came home and got into photography that way. I had a really lovely, wonderful, successful career, almost a 30-year career as a professional photographer. And yeah, it was so amazing to be able to document Hawaii at that time and capture amazing people doing amazing things. But I would say toward the tail end of my photographic career is when I felt this tap on my shoulder, or this whisper in my ear to go in another direction. And I didn't really know who was communicating with me or which direction they were wanting me to go, but I just trusted, and that was the whole lesson, was to let go, to trust and allow. Let go, trust, and allow. And so I went on that magical journey, which started in about 2009, and haven't really looked back, because it just I went on this most magical, mystical journey, learning more about myself, and you know, where in photography we use light to make an image, to create the image, so we have light and shadow. And from now, in the spiritual realm, it was sort of, you know, not spoken, but like these downloads that I would get, that now you're going to use this light and you're going to turn it inwards. Instead of using this light outside to create, externally to create an image, you're now going to harness this light and look within and shine it on the deepest recesses within. And then, whereas you have the lens that documents life on the external, now you're going to use the third eye and use this as your lens and look within and open up that aperture as wide as you can to allow as much light in. So there was this really like a spiritual awakening for me. And at the time, if you don't mind me sharing, we had a mentor, Kahu Wendell Silva, who we absolutely love and adore, and we send him and his beautiful wife Sharon all our love. And it was Kahu Wendell Silva who said, "Oh, you're going to be entering into the spiritual realm, and you're going to need to find out who's going to be your guide in having one foot in the physical realm and one foot in the spiritual realm." And I said, "Well, wouldn't that be you?" And he said, "No, not necessarily. You need to ask." And so I asked, and shortly after that, maybe within a couple of weeks, a friend of ours says, "Hey, I want to introduce you to my kumu, my teacher, and she'd like to meet you folks." And so she came over to our home, and we just fit like a hand in a glove, and that began our whole journey with kumu. She invited us to become kahu, spiritual guides under her, and so I accepted, and that has been my path, my
Kuleana.
My kuleana,
Yeah,
thank you.
responsibility.
My responsibility.
In this season of your life, this chapter now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
from 2010 on. So, and I have just been loving it and learning so much, and it's been a journey of humility.
Oh, I love that.
And also remaining in pono. Yeah. We'll talk more about these Hawaiian words: humility, ha'aha'a,
Oh.
and pono, integrity and balance and harmony, and doing the right thing.
I mean, there's just so much there. And that's what this channel is all about. It's really sharing so much of the wisdom, the experiences, and really your experiences and my experiences, and in combining it together. So thank you so much for sharing about that's just a little snippet. So you're going to learn more and more about each of us as we journey together in these videos. But what you shared already is jam-packed, filled with so much nutrients. So much.
Yeah, that's really good. Nutrients.
Yeah, nutrients. So thank you.
Do you mind sharing where you're from?
Absolutely.
And your background?
I'm very, very proud to share where I'm from. I'm actually from the other side of the island of Oahu, which is Aiea. So shout out to all of my Aiea peeps. I was raised in Aiea, but I was born here. I'm an island girl for sure, but I love to say that I grew up in Washington State. And I say that because I had the great honor and privilege to experience moving off island and be growing up there, because I caregave for my mom for 8.5 glorious years. In the early 90s, I got to live in the Northwest. So I consider that like my second home. Yeah, my second home. So it was a really fantastic experience. And so shout out to the Northwest and for all those amazing adventures that I got to go on, and for that time of growing up with my mom. And I feel like you'd understand what I'm saying, right? When you're caregiving for someone you love, especially at a young age. At the time, I was in my early 20s, mid-20s, I had to grow up really, really fast. So let's see, I am Capricorn Sun, Leo Moon. My ascendant is Pisces, and I do love walks on the beaches, seriously, especially living here in Hawaii and living with this one. We love walking on the beach. I am a kitten mommy, well, kittens, plural. So we're both animal lovers, so that's something you'll definitely learn about through our experiences together here. I am of Filipina, Spanish descent, so Pinoy power. I am very proud of that. Back in the day when I was growing up as a child, I'm a first generation Filipina. I'm Ilocano. And back then, you know, my mother, my parents are from the Philippines, so they spoke the language. My mom spoke it all the time, and back then I didn't appreciate it, along with the rest of the cultural things that now I absolutely love and miss. It's like what you were saying earlier.
That's what happens.
Yeah, you just kind of that switch flips on.
Yeah.
And then you're just like missing all the things that made that made up my childhood, which
made you unique.
Yeah, and makes up our childhood. That is, now we get it, is the foundation of who we are. And so I just love my Filipino culture.
Yeah. I think when you're young, you just want to blend in, you want to be accepted, you don't want to be different.
Right.
You know,
and first generation here, for those of you who know what first generation growing up in the US, in America, in Hawaii, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. The experience is very different and unique, and it's, for me, I'm very, 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 very grateful. Oh, did you hear that? That's the gecko.
Geckos.
And that we know is confirmation from spirit. So I have a feeling my parents are here with me going, yes, girl, now you get it, girl. So I too am a creative. It is the core of my being. For those of you who do know me, I love to document life, persons, places, things, experiences, situations, and I know that one of my purposes here during this lifetime is to capture the essence of people, places, and things. I feel that very, very strongly. So whether it's with a DSLR, a professional camera, or simply with my iPhone, you will always find me shooting, because that's just innately, like, that is my DNA to capture, because that's actually my legacy. That is what I leave behind. I don't have children. I have my beautiful, wonderful nieces and nephews, but my babies are the images I create to uplift others, and also our little fur babies, of course. And yeah, so that's basically it in a nutshell, because I know I'll share more of myself through the journey during our Breathe Aloha times together here. So
and so much more.
There's so much more.
Which is why we wanted to do this.
Yeah,
right?
we're talking 56 plus 66 years equals 122, 122 years.
Always does that to me. I'm like,
combined experiences of wisdom, of just so many anecdotes and experiences that we've had the great pleasure of learning from others that have helped us to elevate ourselves and to grow, that it was just about time. Like, Spirit has been sharing with us and like gently encouraging us.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a while, so
do something.
It just is time. It's time. And there are so many incredible people.
Oh my goddess.
That we want to share with the world.
Yes.
So many incredible people doing amazing things, creative things here in our islands and abroad. So it's a combination. It's not just here in Hawaii, but the majority of it, I'm sure, will be.
Right.
But we have so many other brothers and sisters everywhere.
Yes.
Who we want to share and have you learn and
experience them.
Experience them and their gifts and their messages of aloha.
Right. So that leads me to, what is Breathe Aloha? You're probably wondering, what is Breathe Aloha then, girls? Well, I'm going to turn this toward Lahela and say, what does Breathe Aloha mean to you?
Well, first I'm going to say, this is Pono, and
Pono boy.
And so
he's a magical being.
He is a magical being.
And the way he showed up too is pretty magical. Yeah.
He showed up one day.
Yeah. And we'll tell your story later, okay?
Yeah.
He's our little warrior boy.
Yeah.
Our little kia'i. Yes.
Yes.
So what does Breathe Aloha mean to you when you hear that term?
Well, breathe is, our breath is so important. It's so vital, right? And so it's wellness. To me, it implies wellness. It implies health. It implies life. It implies vitality. It implies, living things. And aloha, of course, is it's how we show up in the world. Aloha, everyone knows aloha is hello and goodbye. But on a deeper meaning, aloha means it's like when I aloha you, I'm acknowledging the God within you. Alo is one's presence, and ha is your breath of life. And so when I aloha you, I share my breath of life with you. And in turn, I receive your aloha, your breath of life. So it's a reciprocal relationship, and it's how we show up in the world. It's the intelligence and the awareness of how we show up in the world, how we show up each day, renewed with this sense of the aloha spirit. And aloha spirit, you'll hear that a lot here in the islands. Aloha spirit it's a connection that we all have, those who live here and who were born and raised here in the islands, and even newcomers too who feel it. becomes it becomes a part of you. It's just this this energy that flows in you and through you, and it's a way of relating to life, and it's a way of showing up with humility. Breathe Aloha is really about life and the joy of life, and breathing life into our day, breathing life, sharing this breath of life with you wherever you may be, taking you on this journey of meeting incredible people and sharing the Aloha spirit with the people that we meet and we introduce you to. And yeah, it's a beautiful give and receive kind of energy.
And that's what I was going to bounce off of, is what you're saying about it being cyclical. So when I breathe Aloha is really the inhalation of all the experiences that has helped me to grow, all the loving relationships, everything that has uplifted me, including the challenges that has, like I said, helped me to grow, and then exhaling all the beauty that's come out of it and sharing it with others, sharing it with you to help uplift you and to help you to be inspired and to grow. So that's in the nutshell for me. This is what Breathe Aloha for this channel is. That's what it means to me. And it's making up, it's like this. Okay, so Breathe Aloha, the channel itself is it's like an umbrella, or like a rainbow of all the different things, people, places, experiences that will help to nurture, empower your mind, body, and spirit. So it's gonna be like this calabash of all kinds of goodness in this big old bowl, and like I like to look at it, is also like a buffet. You're gonna pick and choose what experience or episode that really relates to you. And what our hope is that this channel is here to help inspire, educate, inform, entertain you in all kinds of ways, and that when you turn the video off, that you actually feel one or maybe many of those things, and that you feel uplifted and that you're filled with joy. That's our intent by gathering and just sharing all these things, places and people and experiences with you. And I really mean that. Like we are about all of this and bringing it to you on your phone, in your living room, and all the amazing people like Lahela was sharing earlier that are so gifted in really sharing and breathing aloha with others. And so you'll be here to learn about, maybe Lahela's going to be teaching you how to make a lei po'o or a lei, or maybe...
Or it could be our kumuhula, or our friends who are hula teachers may come and share a hula.
Right.
And or maybe give a hula lesson.
Or it could be also Lahela doing giving caregiving tips, as that's one of the most beautiful parts of her chapter right now in her life, is in the season of giving back to her mom. And I feel like a lot of people could use some really great caregiving tips out there.
Yeah, so with life, right, there's the fun, there's the laughter, there's the joy, there's the inspiration, but then there's also like the challenges. And so we'll share some of that with you too. And it's a journey, and it's about that journey, right? It's about that dash between the birth and the end date, right?
Yeah.
And so it's about that dash in the middle, and all of the wonderful experiences and lessons. It's about life lessons.
Yeah, so this channel, you guys, is super raw, like organic, raw. There's not going to be no flashy, high edits. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes
like
I'm just gonna, like all those mosquitoes is buzzing around us right now. And so Lahela's got the citronella thing going on. And, you know, and even for those of you who know that our language here in Hawaii is very unique. We got the pidgin language going on. So, and I'm all like that, okay? So I will definitely translate when I need to, but we're just being us in our beautiful 808 state. And we're just gonna be cash and all those kinds of lovely things, just super casual and unscripted. That's what makes it so fun.
It's gonna be fun because we don't even know. It's just gonna be a mishmash of
we're just doing any kind of here.
Stuff.
Yeah, but all we know is that we needed to do this to, like we said, uplift you and make your soul happy because it makes us happy.
Yeah, and you know, we want to share our slice of heaven here too.
Yes.
You know, in Hawaii, and you know,
especially during this time.
With all the challenges going on out there and all the craziness going on out there, we're like
unprecedented.
Yeah,
like it's
okay,
really,
you know, social media can be like, oh my gosh, a little too much.
Oh my gosh, that is a great point. Like there is so much noise.
Yeah.
Noise everywhere you look on your phone. I mean, it's all constant. What this is that sanctuary, that calm. You can always rely on coming back here to this channel to find peace, tranquility, joy, laughter, and the opposite of noise.
Yeah.
Remind you what life is really, really about.
Yeah.
The beauties of it.
To remind ourselves to always breathe. Take those deep breaths throughout the day. Take those deep breaths so we can let go. We can let go. We can release any stresses, you know, and as Jer mentioned before, you know, aligning in body, mind, and spirit so that we can empower ourselves to make the best decisions for ourselves moving forward. Because, you know, let's admit it, it's at times it can be a little tricky navigating through the challenges. And so, you know, we want to build a community here. We want to invite you into our community so that we can have a safe place to come and share our stories. We invite you to comment, share where you're from, give us a little background on you, where you're from.
Right, and what uplifts you. Because remember, if we're a community, an ohana family, then we're helping one another out. So share with us in the comments below what brings you joy, what uplifts you, how do you breathe aloha? And perhaps maybe you would like to know other topics or things that you'd like for us to share, any suggestions, we're open to it. And also maybe people that you may know, like, hey, Lahela and G-Love, I know this incredible individual who is doing these magnificent things, because that's what we also want to do here, is to honor and celebrate those who are really making a focused, loving effort to uplift everyone around them.
That's our main focus here, is doing that and bringing more of that to kind of tip the scales in the right direction.
Right. We're that channel.
Yeah. So we invite you to comment, and we invite you to please like this channel, like our channel, and
subscribe to our channel, like our videos and subscribe.
Hit that bell for notifications.
And please share with others. There may be someone that may need to get their dose of aloha right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. So that's great. So thank you.
We're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. So thank you. Mahalo so much for being here. You being here means that you're wanting to uplift everyone around you by uplifting yourself. So thank you for taking care of you. Remember to breathe aloha. You are supported and loved.
See you in the next episode. Ahui ho for now. Aloha.